Hey everybody out there, this is Seto, and today for you guys I have an awesome deck profile for you guys that I've been working on ever since the last set came out, Dark Illusions, and that is Buster Blader. Now there's a lot of different ways you can play the deck. There's a lot of tech cards you can run the deck, like DNA Transplant. DNA Transplant as a trap card makes all your opponent's monsters dragons and your monsters dragons. So there's different things you can do to the deck if you want to tech it out. But me personally, playing the deck, this is the best version I have played of the deck. There's a whole bunch of different ways you can play it. There's a whole bunch of little tech cards you can run, like Kinkabuyo if you want to go to Beast Eyes Pendulum Dragon. Little things here and there that you could run. But me, this is the version I've had the most success with and the most fun with after testing it for a couple of months now, since I think it was June or July. So it took me a while to test this deck out and see how it worked, but yes, it's a very fun deck. So without further ado, let's get to it. First, you run your 3 Buster Blader. People may say, well, why are you running 3 Buster Blader? Thing is, with Buster Blader, he's a very good card, but you really want to use him as best as possible with your pretty much, not instant fusion, your quick play fusion card, which is kind of like super polymerization. Super poly back in the day. So this card's kind of like that because you can target your Buster Blader in your hand, a dragon monster on your opponent's side of the field, or in your hand, and pretty much, there you go. So I like him as a 3 of. Some people don't like running him as that, but the thing is, when you send him to the graveyard, you can bring him back with things like Call of the Haunted, if you want to, or other cards of that nature, which kind of make him decent. Plus, you have a lot of discard outlets for Buster Blader, so you don't, it doesn't matter having 3 in the hand, but he's really useful as a card. Next, and also we use him for synchro plays as well. Next, you have 1 Buster, I forget how you pronounce his name, Buster Blader, the Destruction Swordman, because he's different. But some people don't like running this guy at all. They just run the 3 Buster Blader, or I've seen people run just 2 of this and 2 of this. Different ratios for different folks out there. It's up to you. I just like running the original Buster Bladers because there's more versatility. He's good, but the problem is, and the reason why we run 3 Buster Blader, one of the main reasons why, is because this is Buster Blader no matter what. This guy is not treated, as I'll read you here for you guys. This card's named because Buster Blader while it's on the field or in the graveyard, not in the hand, which sucks because for the fusion monster you need 1 Buster Blader material from your extra deck, using monsters from your hand or either side of the field as fusion material monsters. So, on the field, he's good. In the graveyard, he's good. He's Buster Blader. This guy, he's treated Buster Blader anywhere, so you use him with the Super Poly. So that's why I only run 1 of him and 3 of him, because this guy's Buster Blader all over the place because he's the original Buster Blader. It's kind of like the same Syndrome we had back in the day with Red Eyes, or, Blue Eyes White Dragon. This is going to be, the old card is going to be the power player of your deck. While this guy, he's good, he's decent, he has a nice effect, but the original one's a little bit better because it's a Buster Blader. If he was traded on the hand, field, and graveyard, then you would definitely run 3 of this and maybe 1 of the other Buster Blader, but that's not the case, sadly, so you run the opposite ratio. Next, you run your Mini Stratos of the deck and your level 1 Light Tuner, which is searchable, which I'll talk a little bit more, by Sage with the Eyes of Blue. So there's different little plays you can do in the deck, depending upon what you want to do, but you can definitely search out your Buster Blader Destruction Sword, which I'll read you the effect. Some people don't know that much about Buster Blader, so that's why I'm doing this for you guys. You can tribute this card to special summon 1 Buster Blader from your hand or graveyard, which means you couldn't tribute this out because he's not Buster Blader on the field in your hand, but you can bring it Buster Blader, the original one, out by doing this. If this card is in your graveyard and you control Buster Blader, you can discard 1 Destruction Sword card and special summon this card, and then you could do some different synchro plays by that means. So it's a very, very good card to have. When this card is normal summon, you actually get to add a Destruction Sword card from your deck to your hand. So Stratos with the other effects is really, really nice. So that's why we run 3 of that guy. Next we run the 3, I guess the best way of accounting this card is kind of like Artifact Scythe. Artifact Scythe says you can't special summon monsters from your extra deck. This is pretty much like that. That's exactly what this card is. You pretty much, your opponent can't special summon monsters from the extra deck, which I'll read to you guys quickly. You can target 1 Buster Blader card you control, equip that monster from your hand or your side of the field to that target, or this monster is equipped with a monster your opponent can't special summon monsters from their extra deck. That really helps you out because, say, Because Buster Blader is a 26 attacker just on his own, not counting if your opponent's playing like Blue Eyes White Dragon or Red Eyes or some dragons where they randomly made a dragon monster that's an Exceed monster. Because you literally can go Buster Blader, equip this, they can't use their extra deck, and I've had sometimes where I'm just beating my opponent in with a 26 beater and they can't go into their extra deck until they draw a Twin Twister or something like that. So that's the reason, guys, we run 3 of this guy, because he's literally Artifact Scythe to some degree, but a little bit better. So yeah, definitely a good card to have. Also, the fact that he's a level 1 Dark Tuner, and this is a level 1 Light Tuner, will come into play later on, but especially the level 1 Dark Tuner. Next, we have one other card I run, which is Wizard Buster Destruction Sword. I'll read you his effect very quickly for you guys, because he's something of a niche card. You can target one Buster Blader you control, equip this card. While this card is equipped to a monster, monsters your opponent's graveyard cannot activate their effects. That's the reason I like him. So the thing is, you can equip multiple of the Buster Bladers. So sometimes I'll just have a regular old Buster Blader, or the Fusion or whatever, and you'll be like, okay, equip this, okay, you can't use graveyard effects. I mean, it's a good card if you're facing against like BA or just some deck that uses graveyard effects or uses some graveyard effects. It's really nice, especially if you're in the Blue Eyes matchup. You can just stop their graveyard effects from even happening, even if you don't have, say they breakthrough skilled your Buster Blader. Well, this still will kick off. They can't use their graveyard effects or something of that nature, but definitely having these two equipped to your Buster Blader, that's pretty much GG. They can't special summon from the extra deck, which first off is going to hurt them, and they can't use graveyard effects. That's really going to hurt them. But I like him as a one-of. Some people like running him as a more. Some people don't even run him at all, but I really like him as a one-of in the deck because he's really useful. Next off, we run kind of a mini Blue Eyes engine in the deck, which is 2 Blue Eyes White Dragon. This helps you go for your Buster Blader Fusion, because Buster Blader Destruction Sword Fusion states pretty much you can use materials from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or either side of the field. So literally what you could do is, if you had a bad hand or something, you literally can go, okay, I have these 2 cards in my hand, activate this, I automatically go into the fusion that way. Buster Blader, Blue Eyes White Dragon's engraved now. Okay, I can bring it back through, it's in the graveyard already. You can bring it back through Maiden with the Eyes of Blue, other different plays, which we'll talk about very shortly here. But yes, that's why I run 2 Blue Eyes White Dragon, pretty simple. And you can also use him for synchro plays as well and going to bigger monsters. You can even use him for going into your Sages. With Sage, sometimes if you got him back on the field, you can go Sage, go for Blue Eyes Silver Dragon, different Blue Eyes cards, which I'll show you very quickly. Like, you can go into this variation, like Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon, they go into Blue Eyes Silver Dragon, and maybe go into these other guys over here. So it's up to you, but it does give you the opportunity to do that as well, which we'll talk about a little bit more in a second. But yeah, 2 Blue Eyes White Dragon. Then we run our 3 Sages with the Eyes of Blue. Sage was so helpful to this deck because it helps search out so many different things. So let's go over the list of things Sage of the Eyes of Blue can search out in this deck very quickly here. Sage can search out you pretty much Stratos for the deck, another Stratos card, which is Buster Whelp of Destruction Sword. You can search out Maiden with the Eyes of Blue. You can search out Effect Veiler as well. So those are your 3 targets right there. Maiden is a defensive card that you can use with the field spell card we run in the deck. Effect Veiler, defensive card. Whelp, searching, more searching. So that's where we run the 3 Sage. Also, he's a level 1 tuner, light monster, which you can use in combination with things, like I said before, with Where Art Thou if you wanted to. So more things we'll talk about down the road as we go here. The deck's very combo oriented, so please keep that in mind. With its plays, it is susceptible to things like Max C, depending upon how you're proceeding with your plays. Next, you run your 2 Maiden with the Eyes of Blue. The main reason you run Maiden is because it's a defensive card, and you can get her effect triggered off, by using Mausoleum of the White. This card's really good with this in combination. It's just good in general, because you literally can go normal summon the level 1 tuner, then I get to normal summon another tuner, so I can normal summon the Whelp. Or I can go Sage, normal summon the Whelp, use Whelp's effects, special summon a Buster Blader, go for a synchro play with the Sage, things of that nature, but we'll get to that in a second, some of the different plays you can do with the deck. but it's a defensive card. You can get her effect triggered off, go for different plays. So I definitely love her in the deck. She's very useful. Next, I run the one Effect Veiler. Effect Veiler is good. It's searchable. It's more negation to your opponent. If they're trying to make it out to your Buster Blader or play lock, you have the Effect Veiler to stop things like Castell. If you don't have the Scythe out, just different things it can help you out with in general. Then we run 2 Emblem of the Destruction Sword. This is kind of sort of like a Rhoda for Buster Blader, the original one that is, which people don't seem to understand because literally it states, very simple text, add 1 Buster Blader from your deck to your graveyard to your hand. So that's kind of nice. But thing is, you have to keep in mind you only can add the original Buster Blader. So you only can add the original, Buster Blader. So you can do that, add it to your hand, use the polymerization. It makes bringing out the fusion a lot more consistent in general. So that's the nice little thing about it when you're trying to bring out your Buster Blader. So that's just a little thing you need to keep in mind. But 3 of got a little bit too cloggy. 2 was all I really wanted. Next up, I run the 2 Super Poly pretty much for your deck. Some people like running 1. The nice thing is you can reuse it. Like I said earlier, you can reuse it. It's pretty much a Super Poly. If you got your opponent's got a dragon and you got a Buster Blader in your hand, you literally can go, Super Poly. I take that dragon. It gets fused with mine. I get the big fusion guy out. Simple as that. Some people might say 2 of is too much. I prefer the 2 of because sometimes I have trouble searching this sometimes. Yes, it is searchable through the whelp, but sometimes I find optimally it's just nice to have 2 in the deck. I've had scenarios where that's come up. You can run 1, you could run 2. I wouldn't run 3. 2 is the max I would run. So definitely 2 of the fusion card for the deck to go into your fusion monster. Then we run Mausoleum of White and 1 Terraforming. So 2 Mausoleum of the White and the 1 Terraforming in the deck. You may be saying, well, what are some of these combo plays you keep mentioning? So I'm going to read Mausoleum. If you're not familiar with Blue Eyes White Dragon, you need to be familiar with this card. So pretty much during your main phase, you can normal summon 1 level light tuner monster in addition to your normal summon. You only can gain the effect of this once per turn. Once per turn, you can target 1 face-up monster you control, send 1 normal monster from your graveyard or your deck to, and if you do, target that monster. So by targeting that monster, you can target the main and send the Blue Eyes White Dragon to your graveyard. You're thinning your deck out, doing a bunch of different things. The fact that it's from the hand or deck is nice. And the addition that you get another normal summon is what you care about. Now the extra attack thing that's tagged on here down at the bottom, that's just the cherry on top. I decided to go, instead of like 3 Mausoleums and 1 Terraforming, just to go with the 2 Terraforming the Mausoleum. It's an integral part of the deck, but you don't need it right away. It's nice to, but I like the 1 Terraforming because it gives you search and thin power, and the 2 Mausoleums is kind of nice. So some of the combo plays you can do is you're looking to do the basic Blue Eyes White Dragon plays. You activate your Mausoleum, you get your Maiden out in the field, you activate its effect to target the Maiden, send a Blue Eyes White Dragon, your normal monster, to the graveyard, okay? And then you get a Blue Eyes White Dragon out in the field, and then you can go for synchro plays that turn. So you can go into, different plays of that nature, go into synchro plays that way. Other things you could do, I've done before, there's a whole bunch of different combo plays off Mausoleum. I've done things like you could normal summon, normal summon the Sage, search a card, normal summon the Whelp, add Whelp's effect to special summon your Buster Blader monster, which I don't have on me right now, but you can normal special summon the Buster Blader. Go for synchro plays that way. Go for your literally you could do things like I could go for Buster Blader and this, and then go for your main synchro play, which is Buster Dragon. Then you could maybe reborn it back. I mean, I'm not going to go in detail to everything, but this, as you can see, can open up a whole bunch of different combo plays, and you just have to be able to learn all those combo plays. But for the most part, Mausoleum just opens up so many different combo plays in your deck overall, and it's up to you to the ratio you want to run, but it's a very integral part of the deck, and once you get it set up, you're pretty much good to go with your combo plays with Mausoleum. So let me just put these cards to the side for a second and go to the next card now. We got 2 Twin Twister next, guys. Twin Twister's pretty simple. You have a lot of discarding outlets. You accumulate a lot of hand advantage, so you don't mind pitching cards really, just in general. Excuse me, I had something in my throat there for a second, but literally you can just pitch anything you want to, clear your back row. It's very optimal if you can to clear your opponent's back row before you go off, because that way you can achieve a lot of advantage over your opponent, not have to worry about stupid stuff you're running into. Especially solemn wounds and strikes can really ruin this deck's day. Next I run a couple of 1-ofs, 1 Where Art Thou, 1 Upstart Goblin, 1 1-for-1, 1 Regeki. You have discarding outlets. You don't mind discarding cards because you gain advantage. 1-for-1 is very good. Maiden, your Whelp. If you just want to use Whelp's effect, your Destruction Sword. If you want to just like equip it to your Buster Blader that's already on the field. Different little things. Where Art Thou is very nice, especially with the Mausoleum. Now people sometimes run more of this card, but I like it just as a 1-of. 2-of, maybe. 3-of, no. It is a searcher for your other level 1s, but the problem is sometimes that could backfire on you. I've had people like, oh, I activate it because I see the Mausoleum out in the field. They've Twin Twisted my Mausoleum in another card, and I'm just like, well, I'm going to take all that burn damage now, and it's killed me. So I like it as a 1-of. You could run 2, but that's up to you. Upstart Goblin's a draw card. Regeki, clear the board 1-for-1 for different combo plays. Trap cards. Your 2 Destruction Sword. This card just came out recently. I'm going to read you what it says very quickly. Discard 1 Destruction Sword card. So that's one of the reasons why I run 2 of the Fusion, because you can just randomly just discard it. You can special summon 1 Buster Blader monster from your deck. You can banish this card from your graveyard. Fusion summon 1 Buster Blader, the Dragon Sword, from your extra deck by banishing fusion monsters listed on it from your graveyard, which is really nice. So you can bring a Buster Blader out, do different combo plays with that, and you can banish it from the graveyard if you need to go into a fusion. That's why we run 2 of the fusions now. But very good card to have. Then 1 Destruction Sword Flash. This card's really fun to use. Pretty much it states, if you control a fusion monster listed as Buster Blader, banish all monsters your opponent controls. And then in the graveyard, when a card or effect is activated that targets a Buster Blader monster you control, you can pretty much destroy that, banish that card from the banish this card from the graveyard and negate that effect. It's a really nice 1-of, and it can be searched, and you can discard it because this is Destruction Sword card. So I run it as a 1-of because it's really nice to have and do some little kinky plays with it. 1 Card of the Haunted for combo plays. I don't like Soul Charge in the deck so much, but you could change this out for Soul Charge. And then just for controlling elements of the deck, I run 3 Solemn Strikes and 1 Warning. If you want to run other traps, go right ahead, but the Solemn Strikes really, once you've made your board, it's just, it's like Protect the Castle kind of, so the 3 Solemn Strikes and the Warning definitely come in handy. On to the extra deck guys for a second. You run 2 of the Fusion, which you can't attack directly, but this guy can get over 9,000 attack very easily. Your 2 Buster Dragon, which pretty much the main thing you care about, even though it has another good effect, is it makes all your opponent's monsters on the field and in the graveyard dragons. I don't know if it's is it in the graveyard as well? I can't remember off the top of my head. I think it's on the field, no, at least. Yeah, the other effect is very good. Next we go, I was trying to hurry up guys here before I run out of time on my camera. It's about to die on me. Next I run 2 Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss Bane. And I run 1 Hot Dragon Archlord Bane and 1 Tyrant Dragon Archfiend. So all these guys, you're probably wondering, how do you go with these tuners, and how do you go into these, and how do you go into these? These you go into because you run that level 1 Dark Tuner I was talking about, Destruction Sword, because you can go have another card on the field and just go for this. Very easily you could have a Buster Blade out in the field and this on the field. You synchro up because this is a level 1 Dark Tuner. To go into the Hot Red Dragon cards here, you go into this because it's a dark synchro, pretty much a dark monster, and then you can go for another level 1, and then you can go into this, and then this can go into this, or go into this. So that's how that works there. So this goes into this with another synchro, okay, another tuner, and then this can go into this with another tuner, or this, depending upon the scenario. But they're good cards to have. Then, like I said, with the Void Ogre and the BLs, you have the level 1 tuner with Buster Blader. Buster Blader with any other tuner makes Omega or Scarwrite Dragon Archfiend. And then you have your Spirit Dragon and your Silvers, because you can use that using the Blue Eyes White Dragon and any other card. And Spirit, you can pop it to go for your Azure Eyes or your Stardust or your Black Rose Moon Dragon. So this can go into these three. This right here. So guys, I hope you guys all enjoyed this deck profile.